Okay, welcome back to Drawing Crazy Scooters. I don't know why I did that voice. Probably because of Dragon Ball Z Abridged, right? No. Oh god, my voice is still fucked. I can't even meme correctly. God damn it. But yeah, doing crazy scooters, i.e., just artwod workout, ARTWOD, artwod. You know, my lord and savior, all that shit. Seriously, they're crazy scooter workout, good shit, right? Essentially, learning to draw a bike, mannequinize it, and then play with the proportions. I'm still on step 1 of 5, and I'm doing a very unnecessarily complicated step 1 of 5. But anyways, like, subscribe, or fuck off. Keep me on in the background. I would prefer all three after the keeping me on in the background, watching the entire video. Yeah, but my voice is a bit gone, so I'm still gonna talk and be an extremely grating uh, uh, noise in your ear, but it will be slightly raspy. So today we're just going to continue onwards, right? And I'm just gonna individually practice the individual parts, right? That is that we've established so far. And again, I'm gonna keep thinking about the box, keep thinking about the perspective, right? All that shit. And at one point, I will just be a god at drawing a really complicated bike mannequin. That's usually how it goes, no? Then it comes out like, well, I believe outward like that. Something like this, right? Bit off perspective, but that's roughly what it is. The better I can get at just understanding and drawing this and visualizing this, the easier it will be in the long term. And I'm just trying to fill this page up right now too, right? And what did I decide here? That this shape, well, first we can create a little bit of complexity, right? The fact that it's a bit of a thick shape. And this is just the backside of the body, right? And I'm keeping the perspective in mind. It's in a box that's essentially to the front right now, maybe a little bit off to the left. And this is the cylinder attachment thing. I'm trying to figure out how I should make this. In the reference, it's much yeah, in the reference it's much more connected, I guess you could say, right? Like, it's wider and it kind of keeps looping around and around, and there's a lot of unnecessary grooves to it. I'm trying to obviously simplify it, but I'm trying to see what would make sense, right? Maybe just maybe just having it go straight down. Again, just something like this. There you go, just a covering of sorts, right? I think that should be fine. Yeah, that should be fine. And then the body is something like, it's attached, it's coming outward, like so. It's a bit longer, right? But there are tinier angles. So there's this, and then it's technically like connected over here, right? And then it's kind of just angled even more sharply. Like that. For some reason, whoever designed this bike is a piece of shit, so obviously they want to just add a bunch more connections like so. And that's basically it, right? I'm just drawing it like here, but with more complexity. And the big thing about this shape is it's angled in an interesting manner, in the sense that from the side it's straight, right, albeit angled, and then this bottom part here is actually crooked like that. So it's, this is following the perspective, right? But then this, we have to think about it in terms of a box, right? This is just angled diagonally and inwards from that box, like so. something like that. I think that makes sense. I don't know if the explanation is that good, but I'm just trying to get this relative shape down, right? And it should be okay that way. Although I don't think this is correct. This probably should have been, if I follow my example, yeah, coming down like that. Like all the way like that. That's better. But yeah, I don't like this page is gonna look messy. I don't care. When I flip it over, I'll be drawing the individual parts again, just to make sense of it all, right? Same with let's see, because then we also have, okay, if we have the body, right? It's coming in like so, and I know I could do a lot of the very similar angles, but I'm trying to keep the perspective in mind. So it'd be something like that, right? Bring it in backwards a little. Still keep visualizing the box. I'm gonna keep telling myself that, obviously. Visualize the box, but then also visualize what you're trying to draw at the end of the day, right? Because that's actually what's gonna get you the skill of drawing from imagination, is visualizing. Right? That's the main thing. So again, and then we have, I guess, okay, I have to figure out if I want this shape to be following the contour and the perspective, or do I want it to, I'll have to see, because I can do something very simple like that, right? And then I can have this follow the perspective, but then this gets a lot thinner at the end. Do I want that? Maybe. Right. Maybe I want it like this, right? Because this shape is from the outside. So just gotta think about that for a sec. Okay, yeah, we can have it attached just at the edge too. That way it'll make more sense when it comes to just understanding the attachment in general, right? And then, geez, my voice sounds like ass. This is Raggy. It's fucking Scooby. Oh, even my laughter isn't as joyous and bountiful as it used to be. Sad. But let's see. Oh, I fucked up here, right? This is not the right shape. I should have noted this. It stops here, and then it goes diagonally. So it stops here, it goes diagonal. Okay, I guess it goes diagonal like that, and then it's like that. Yeah, there you go. Right, and then we have this shape, and then it goes all the way across. Okay, kind of fucked that up, but let's rest my brain, turn the page, do it again. I'm gonna really just focus on these individual shapes. So clearly what I'm struggling the most with is, I actually kind of got this down pretty decently. This was, I thought, would be the most complicated, but now I think I've got it down a lot better. The most important thing now is the proportions related to that, and also this body, right? And specifically this right here, how this relates to it all. So that's the most important thing. So let me rest my brain. Jesus, okay. Yeah, cool. Oh god, my voice is actually fucked, bro. What the hell? And okay, let's do that again. So it's time to just start. I'm trying to figure out whether I should draw the individual shapes or actually put the entire thing together. Perhaps we should just start putting the entire thing together and then keep drawing this, what I know, over and over and over, right? Might as well, because if I can draw it together, I can make more sense of it and really take my time. So yeah, let's do that. But let me imagine this first. Visualization is obviously the most important step. You know, apart from a giant ego. Oh, you thought I was gonna say something else? I couldn't think of anything else. I wanted to be obscene and perverse, but I genuinely couldn't think of anything in those 3 seconds I gave myself, so I thought it would be something simple. So you're welcome, I think. Okay, first I gotta think about the box. Okay. Okay, that should be fine. Let me think. Yeah, it might be necessary to just draw the scooter a bit smaller, right? If it's at smaller shapes, I can consistently keep the nuance maybe the same, right? And again, that it would be a great way to practice just my lines in general. So no complaints there. Okay, something like that. Okay, so now we got this, and then we can, maybe that's a bit too big, but now we can go something like that. Go something like that. Incredible, just absolutely incredible. Right. And then we have right around here we have the handle, which I kind of fucked up. Let me think. Actually, did I? There you go. Okay, cool. It's not amazing. Kind of looks detached, actually, but still obviously working on it. Again, this is just a great way to. This might actually be a bit too small, to be honest. I could have definitely made it a bit bigger, but yeah, I think still a great way to practice the shapes. Everything is always, it's always a great way to practice the shapes, right? And again, my biggest thing is just keep focusing on the box as much as I can, right? Something like that. And we also need the handlebar. Or not the hand. Is that the handlebar? What the fuck? Yeah, that is the handlebar, right? Fuck. It's like I forget what things even mean because. Okay, I think that's okay. Nothing perfect, and this side we don't really see. Yeah, but that's okay. It's not perfect, and I think I definitely need to draw it bigger, right? But it's what it is. So that means this is just coming down here. Oh wait, no, it's coming outward. And then, okay, wait. So it's like that. And then so something like right there. But what about this? Oh wait, no, what the fuck am I doing? It doesn't go backwards, it goes forwards. Jesus Christ. So it's like this. There you go. And then, so it's obviously off center now, right? It's 100% off center. It needs to be way more to the left, but it's okay, we're just gonna go with it. Right? Because this is how you learn, of course. This is roughly twice the length. And then, gotta visualize this as well. And then we have this thing that meets it right around here. And it's following the form. And what is it like? Do I want it to follow? No, I want it to follow this. So let's make it a little longer here. Like that. Right, and this thing needs to be long, so it's this length, but down here. There you go. And now there's an angle like so. And then it comes back down. Something like that, right? Okay, starting to look more bike-like, which is good. And I did imagine that, which is also good, right? And then we have a pipe. Essentially, if you keep thinking about the box, it's just slightly angled like that, maybe. Maybe this should be longer. Maybe we should start here for the time being. Right, something like that. Again, I know this looks disjointed because the neck is a bit off, but that's okay. Right, same thing here. Now this obviously has something that juts out like so. We don't see it here, but it's gonna jut out like a little bit outwards. And then same thing here, right? Let me get this done first. Okay, wait, so it's over here. It's gonna just come out slightly. There you go, something like that. Right? Keep thinking about the box. Again, the more I do these little lines, they help think about the box as well. But again, the reason I'm doing a lot better with this one is purely on the basis that I can sort of keep the box contained within this general space. With the bigger ones, like if we'll see back here, right? This is basically already half the size of my current scooter, you know, or like the size of my current scooter, right? So having to do the entire scooter at half a page is going to be much more difficult to visualize. So that's another quote unquote meta skill, right? Is just the fact that even the ability at which you can view or visualize a box and the range in which you can visualize that box and the space it encompasses varies based on its size, right? And the difficulty it will take to do that. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. And this is just, okay, if it's coming in like this, wait, so this is coming in like that, so here, I attached it incorrectly, but I guess this is probably going to change, like what I've done right here. How I've approached it is definitely going to change, but there you go. So that's how this is attached, right? So we rest my brain. It's not perfect, but this is how we get to actually creating a bike-like shape, right? Again, I think the handlebars should be bigger, because who's tiny ass stubby little hands? It's like 3 hands. I already have small hands as it is, and I don't even think my hands can fit on that properly. So if anything, maybe just make it like slightly bigger, right? I could just do something like this. Something like that, right? Maybe that's a bit too long and that just looks retarded now. But whatever. Let's just leave it. Let me rest my brain. But yeah, it is getting a bit better. I do think I should make this a bit thinner. Like this is a pretty good thinness here. This one, like that thin, right? This is a bit too thick, in my opinion. It kind of just ends like this. But again, there's like a bunch of shit that's supposed to come out here, right? So technically we're never really seeing this part. This is just for the sake of understanding this shape, so that when we don't see this part, at least I know what resides there, despite whether I'm seeing it or not. Right? Same thing here. No. Because, let's see. Actually, should have been more like this. But anyways, this neck area is something we can keep working on, right? That attachment's really important. It's already misaligned as it is, so it's okay, right? These mistakes happen. But what's happening here now? Let's reorient ourselves. The box, all that shit. Right, let's keep getting the box back in our mind. And then we need to, what is it, like right here, essentially, is where it juts out slightly. Same here, juts out slightly, and then it's coming in. Like so. There's literally just something like that, right? Because then this thing over here is going to jet out, it's going down, that's what we're surrounding, right? And then this is going inwards, everything down here jutting out, right? It's like this, what the fuck is happening here? So it's going down straight, these are all attaching to it, and then it's going out slightly, coming down, and then hitting that. So I guess really, actually, I just have this. Because we're not really seeing any of those angles. So really what I might have is literally just this. Right. Same thing here. There you go. That's the body shape. You know, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Uh, it's misaligned, but I think that's literally just what it is. is this? If because we can't really see anything that's happening in the back from this angle, at least the way I've set it up, I believe. Right? Because it is, yeah, it's jutting out a little bit here. It's coming out. Okay, maybe we see this like going in a little bit. And maybe we see just a little bit of this, but like the bottom shape attached to this. But yeah, overall that should be it. Okay, cool. Let's try again, but now we'll do it from the other angle. Maybe I'll make this a bit bigger, right? So I can actually see what's going on. But we're getting there. We are actually, I think, slowly but surely getting there. Let's make this slightly bigger. There you go. Something like that. Right, it's jutting out. It's not going down, it's jutting out. So that's important to keep in mind for myself. There you go. Oh fuck, I keep forgetting to add this. Which is good. Mistakes are the cornerstone to success. Woohoo. Hashtag deep touch. Yeah. It's pretty fucked. I took like an hour and a half nap today. Didn't even realize. Pretty dead, man. There. Again, none of this is perfect. But I'm not trying to be perfect right now. I'm just trying to get it across. The general shapes, right? So something like that. This can also go down. And this is like a bit of a slightly tilted box as well, you know, which is cool. As you can see, it's definitely helping me with my lines when it comes to kind of keeping it make sense. So I'm not complaining, right? That, and it's going diagonal, right? So it's going straight across, yeah, straight across, and then diagonal, like so. Wonderful. So that means this. Would be like, yeah, right around there. That's gonna come out slightly. Keyword being slightly. Again, I keep fucking forgetting this. That's a bit misaligned. Yeah, it's a bit misaligned. Wait, I hope I'm not murmuring too much. I'm saying it's a bit misaligned. Not as Not that shit. Okay, my background music can only carry this channel so much. God damn it. Right, I also do have to put some work in with my beautiful voice. Lole, 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 as they say. And the box is this way. Right, so that means I just need to get this thing roughly like... And my bad, my alarm just went off. That was fucking retarded. I hope I didn't lose anything. I don't think I did. It's just, I set my alarm as my own voice begging me to wake up because I'm so fucking shit at waking up on time nowadays. Oh my god. But yeah, that was so... I was like, why do I hear myself? You know the whole like, why do I hear boss music? This is my boss music. It's just me fucking berating myself for not waking up properly on time. Okay. This perspective, and then... Right. Okay, so it's cutting out like that. You can get the cylinder like this. Right, and then it's... something like that, right? We can just do... That's fucking hilarious. My fucking ringtone is just me insulting myself. And in the middle of my recording, I just heard it. I don't think I lost anything, because as soon as it went off, I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then I turned it off, and I'm recording again, so... And the recording angle still seems relatively the same, maybe with slight differences. I don't know how much time has elapsed anymore, unfortunately. When did I start? What time is it right now? It is 5:06. I think I started at 4:30. We'll go till 5:40-ish. Right, it's only been half an hour. But let me actually rest my brain now that we're here, right? This is looking a bit more legit, which is nice. But yeah, let me rest my brain. This is really good. I'm actually very grateful for the time I'm taking. Right? Do you see how I said the word grateful and not proud and happy? Because gratitude is king. So yeah, like I'm actually pretty grateful for the fact that I've managed to... Wait, let me think about the box. Okay, yeah, still relatively the same. Something like that. Right, wonderful. And then we get the bigger one. Like so. It's actually a bit tilted. Yeah, and then now we get to... it's tilted this way, right? It's like this, yeah. There will be slight variances, of course, in the angles and the lengths of those angles, but I think overall should be fine. Yeah, you see? Like that. Now I can get this little thing going here. Again, I'm constantly trying to keep this box in mind. And genuinely, I'm actually really happy that I'm making this concentrated effort. I think talking about it, sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. It just comes down to how well I can focus. at any given time, right? So that's just what it is. You know, it's angled this way. What am I doing? See, that's a mistake, but it's okay. That's angled, so that comes down, right? Comes down like so. All right, whatever, cool. And then what do we have? We have, well, this thing is supposed to be twice the length, right? So why don't we just one, well, I'm trying to think about the box again. Okay, like so, right? Because it's around here, so it's right up there, and then something like that, maybe. Well, what's here is this, actually, right? I just took that in, like this fucker is right here. So, how does that attach? It should be like this. Yeah, it should be like this. Oh wait, no. It should be like that. Goes inwards and then, oh, okay. Maybe something like this. If it's right at the bottom, actually, that would be easier. Right? I'm trying to think box wise and the proportions wise. There you go. I think I understand it a bit better now. Like that. And this goes all the way down. Because again, it's two of this, right? So 1, 2 and a bit. 1, 2 and a bit. Definitely starting to get there, to be honest, right? Definitely looking more quote-unquote bike-like. Maybe if I just add little rings like this, it'll make it look more legit, right? Wee. That's a real handlebar. Really unnecessary details, of course. That's the name of the game. But no, it's wrong actually. This is wrong. This is supposed to be the smaller one. That's supposed to be the bigger one. So yeah, it should be something like this actually. There you go. So we'll ignore this line, of course. And there you go, something like that. Right, and this back side is gonna stay like that for the time being. Wow, this is actually starting to look like a bike. It's actually really cool, you know? Okay. Right. And this one connects over here. Just reinforcing the perspective to myself. Where's the ground? I forgot where the ground is. Okay. So that's the box. Just gotta make it something like that, right? And then we do something like this, and then to connect all the way here, seemingly I should do something like that. Is that what it is? Okay, it's slightly off, but slightly off. This is actually slightly off. So I know that's an issue now. I need to figure out the perspective for this a bit better. But cool, that means I can actually just finish this off. Right, and then just we can have the box. Oh, the beautiful box. Wait, it's connected here, so we need to think about this. Right, it's tiny going all the way back, so it's going to be something like that. And then we just connect the dots. There you go. I know I'm doing it a bit differently, like it's different here versus it is here. These are slight things that I think I'll just kind of be changing, not on purpose, but just as I go about it, right? Because I'm just figuring things out right now. But overall, not bad. And this has like the cylinder attached. It's gonna be going, it's foreshortened as shit, but it's basically something like this, right? Yeah. Wrong, actually, angle completely, but. And this ended up becoming so much bigger, you see, because I made it slightly larger. I don't know if the proportions were okay. I think something fucked up here. Should have come down here, maybe. This is actually too angled, but okay, well, there are a lot of mistakes, which is good, and I can keep working on that moving forward. This isn't supposed to be as big as it should have been, perhaps, or maybe it should have, right? This definitely still needs to be thinner, for sure. Well, yeah, because I ended up making this thick because I thought that was a thin one. Makes sense. So that needs to be thinner. Just a few things here, like this is off perspective. This is actually pretty okay. The handlebar attachment, everything. This I'm getting down pretty decently. But yeah, it's just this attachment and this over here, this blocky shape. But not bad. Not bad at all. Let me rest my brain. Nom nom nom. Okay. Oh god, my fucking neck is so sore. I just took a nap. Why the fuck am I hurting? God damn it. But okay, we have like 30 minutes left, some shit like that. Yeah, I don't know how long that other little bout was. I have no idea. I just don't know. I don't know when I started the drawing. It's probably around 4:30, right? I don't fucking know. Whatever. We'll go for another half an hour or 25 minutes ish. Now we need to think about some other perspectives as well. Maybe it's time to just when I slightly get this down, I'm gonna do something that's gonna fucking piss off myself, really, which is to add the wheel, right? Why don't we add the wheel to all of this? So the way I see it, actually, yeah, the way I see it, the wheel can literally be somewhere here, right? And even in this, it looks like it's kind of underneath, you know? Or like kind of attached, but not really. What would that look like on the opposite end? Doesn't really show. Yeah, it kind of just looks like it's attached relatively to this. So we can have the wheel come down over here, or the pipe attachment, right? So maybe it can be something like this instead, where it's like one part, and then the other part is a bit thicker, because it technically is a bit thicker in the reference, right? And this kind of just adds, I think, just enough variety to make it seem more interesting, quote unquote. Again, that word interesting, it's a bit of an annoyance for me because I don't really know what an interesting shape looks like, right? And fucking obviously, the more advanced people will be like, oh, you just draw a squiggle and then you turn into a fucking face somehow. They're like, oh, just a big shape, this shape, that shape. And suddenly it's somebody's ass crack and you're like, what the fuck, this is the most beautiful ass crack I've ever seen. But you can't do that. I can't do that either. So it's all about, I think, time, right? That's why I'm really glad I started this channel, because we're about to see me learn all these things, you know? And that way you can all resonate with me and give me more money. But just trying to think now. Right. Well, I guess one thing I should add is this, right? It should be coming down like here. That'll make it more interesting in terms of just slight variety. Yeah, because it has that angle, so we can start it off like that instead of this line here. That'll just make it slightly more interesting, I think, because that's how it is in the reference as well. But let me, I'm just thinking right now, I'm just thinking of how I should approach this, what the next step should be. Well, maybe I should just, because if I can attach the wheel, it would also be easier as well, no? Because imagine I could just do something like, I don't know, like, and then you just see the wheel like that, right? I feel as if my proportions are off, you know? It shouldn't be this off. There's something wrong here that's messing with it. And I think that just comes down to, again, these Lego pieces needing to fit together properly, right? So yeah, I think we'll just keep going. Right, same thing here, like, because the shape here is something like this, where it's essentially, there's a covering that looks like this. And I guess it comes around like so, right? It comes around like that. And then you have the wheel, which is basically really just, what is it? It's a cylinder, you know? And it's like this. Ta-da! Right? Something like that. Nothing perfect, of course, but I wouldn't mind focusing on the wheel now, right? Whilst I continue onwards with this, because the wheel is what's going to make it look more legitimate. And I think the wheel is what I can actually use to attach things in a more cohesive manner, hopefully. So why don't I just spend the last little bit of this time that I have, I guess 15 minutes, just, yeah, focusing on the wheel, right? There's always time. So what is this shape? You know, what the fuck is this shape? it has a covering, and then it has that. Okay, well, one thing for certain is that this is not angled so downward. It's actually angled more like this, right? Of course, that way it's actually hitting the middle, but it's coming from, it's further down, right? Because there's just this giant plate, so there's a bunch of shit here, but it's further down, and it's coming like that, right? That already makes so much more sense because that's clearly the center now of the wheel, and then you can start actually imagining how everything is connected. That wheel is actually kind of the centerpiece of this, from what I can tell, right? Same thing here. It's going further down, and see, that way the wheel's actually here, and it's actually more like this. There you go. See? Now that's much more legitimate. See, that makes more sense to me. That makes a lot more sense to me. So why don't we just practice the extremely simple shapes that is this wheel? But obviously to do that, we need to utilize this, because it is attached to this at the end of the day, right? It's all attached to this. So this like side little thing. So I need to make sure I utilize that. So let's just put in our little makeshift perspective. Why is my camera thing shaking? I'm not even touching it. What the fuck is going on? Anyways. Oh wait, I should probably add focus. Shit, I wonder if the camera's just been focusing and refocusing every time I fucking move. That would be horrible. But let's focus on the wheel now. The wheel is really going to be, I think, a good way to sort of ground everything together. Like same thing with, let me just correct this. This is supposed to be more like here. Yeah, see? That's the center. Yeah, it's just shifted to the left a little bit. But honestly, I'm pretty proud of myself. This is pretty good progress, all things considered. I don't think I would have been able to see myself doing something like this a few months ago, but now here I am creating a more complicated version of this bike over and over and over. And I feel as if I've hit a milestone of sorts. But either way, I'll do this for like another week, just try to get done. So it was basically just my obsession with not being able to progress in this, but now that I've progressed in this, I've calmed down. I'm gonna go. Never trust a word I say when it comes to I'm gonna do this for X amount of time, right? It's art is truly all about. It's about the feeling, right? It's not about technical application. It's all about how you feel. If you feel like you don't want to draw, you don't draw. If you feel like you might as well not be an artist, you might as well not be an artist. But if you feel like you should like and subscribe, and please do so. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what that is. Anyways. Okay, what is this shape? Let's break it down into its most basic form. Before I even add start connecting with this, I need to get this little wheel covering down, right? So the wheel covering, really, it's, okay, so if this is the wheel, right? Which in of itself is a cylinder. Okay, that's the wheel. Right, and that's the cylinder indication I'm going to give it. Something like that. Sure. That's the wheel. Then the covering. And I need to really analyze this. Jesus. Not a perfect wheel by any means, but if this is the wheel, then what is going on here, right? You have something like in this why the fuck is this camera thing shaking? I'm so confused. Oh, because it's hitting the side of my fuck. There you go. It was hitting the side of my table. So every time I touch the table, right, the camera would shake. But now that's not happening anymore because I moved it like a little bit by an inch, which is above average, I'll have you know. But it's coming and it's going around, right? So it's going around, I guess, like that. But it's also tapering upwards. So it's kind of following the contours. It's like this. This is fun. I can practice this shape for a while. What the fuck? It's tapering upwards and then it's like splitting in two. Like that. My guy, what? What is this garbaggio? And then over here it's coming out and then covering this like so. The fuck? What the fuck kind of retarded ass shape is this? My guy. Alright. I guess, yeah, and then you have this, right? It just kind of goes past it, I guess. Kind of fucked it up, but that's supposed to be the piping. But how about I do it without the wheel and just imagine the wheel? So it is something like this, right? Which then tapers. Maybe I'm doing the taper a bit too much. Yeah, it's like that. And then I guess it's going like that. And I kind of just maybe like that, maybe. It's such a fucking retarded shape. This shit makes no sense to me. But I am also incorrect, let it be known. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it slightly wrong. Let me do that again. Yeah, so it's like this. And then it's tapering like that. Right? Kind of like a semicircle. This juts out, and then it juts out again like here. And then it's covering that wheel like so. And this is also kind of a little cutout. And this is also a little cutout. And then that comes back in. I guess here's where my confusion lies. So it's like this, I guess. Right? And then this. Like that or some shit. Right, and then this is where the wheel is. Something like. Something like that, I guess. Right? This is all very rough right now. I'm just trying to figure out what the shape is, and perhaps there's a way to simplify it. You know? Just perhaps there's a way to simplify it. Well, let's be honest. What is this shape, really? It's just a manipulated contour, right? What is the manipulated contour? Well, if we look at it from the front on, this is why I fucking love Antonio's shit, bro. Because he breaks that shit down so easily. This is what the front looks like. It's like that. And then it comes slightly inward. Right? And there's a little bit of tapering. It's happening. But this is the shape. Right? This is the shape. Basically. You know? And from the side, we can say it's just like this. Some shit like that. I'm so fucking bad at explaining myself. Yeah, just like that, I guess. So, if I were to put that into practice and just completely ignore the wheel, and instead change the shape slightly so it kind of wraps around the wheel instead, right? I could do something like this. And then have it go around, right? And then bring it out. Bring it in. Right? Because this way now, I have something which I don't have to make it as intense, right? It doesn't have to be as intense. It can kind of just be a bit more simple in that regard, and still look roughly like what it's supposed to, which is at the end of the day something that is covering the wheel, right? Not bad. There you go. And still, even in this context, the wheel is just slightly lower. We could just have it something like this, right? Because it's just going around. There you go. You see? Something like that, you see? This way the wheel can actually fit the logic of just being covered by this pretty decently. And as my spatial reasoning gets better, I will be able to relocate the wheel, maybe slightly lower like it is in the reference, you know, make some changes here and there. But overall, this is the wheel. And the wheel is curved, of course. We have to remember that it's curved. Not a perfect example of what I'm trying to do, right? But there you go, you know. And then you have like this shit, and there you go. Before you know it, you have the wheel, and it's covering, and it's not bad. So let me rest my brain. That was actually a pretty good breakdown, I think, for myself. Now the next thing I want to do is actually add three-dimensionality to this, because right now this is just a plane, right? What I want to do is something like this, where it's more three-dimensional, and it looks like it's wrapping around like so, right? Like that. Because this way we can also make these three-dimensional as well, right? And it'll look a bit better, I think, in terms of just how it's covered. But, you know, that's not a perfect example. But yeah, let me rest my brain. Okay, now to reinforce this again for myself, I'm going to draw it from a different perspective. And what time is it? It's 5:37. Did I already reach an hour? Maybe I should just wait till later today, because then I'll have the rest of the page. I can rest my brain. I think it's been an hour. I'm just gonna have to take the fucking L if it hasn't been, right? So, unfortunately, my videos will no longer be as long form for this particular instance. Instead of an hour to an hour and 10 minutes, you'll be getting 57 minutes possibly. I know, it's very sad. You don't get to give me as much retention as you'd like, right? So, it's an unfortunate day when Viggy can't provide. That's just depressing, bro. I'm a man. I have to provide. It's in my nature. Men are meant to toil, as they say. Or in my case, men are meant to... There you go. I had no one-liner for that, so I'm just doing my channel logo, but opposite. Holy shit. This is the opposite of Viggy, which is, what's the opposite of Viggy? Give? That's disgusting. Never mind. Ignore I said that. This is just my alternate persona, which is just me, but I decided to raise my left eyebrow instead. Or technically the right, if it's... Whatever. What the fuck am I even saying? It's all fucking retarded. But confidence. As long as you're confident in what you're saying, that's all that matters. Tip for all you socially anxiety retards out there, right? If you are worried or anxious, just don't be. It's very simple, you know? You don't need pills. What you need is to fake smile and to maintain eye contact, and specifically to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And with that motivational message at the forefront of this video, or technically it's at the end of this video, so it's not really the forefront. But anyways, like, subscribe, fuck off, keep me on the background, give me that retention, all right? Very contradictory. Now you can do all three of them. And yeah, as always, fuck is my outro, bro? As always, fuck you for watching, keep drawing, and please give me money. Thank you.